Greetings gamers, my name's Anto and I've got some pretty huge D&D related news for you today. As of an hour ago, there's been an update over on D&D Beyond confirming that the 2024 version of Dungeons & Dragons is going to get its own SRD 5.2, and that is going to be fully supported via the Creative Commons. This is something that we've been hoping for and the Wizards had previously alluded to and promised, but there's been a lot of radio silence between the OGL and now, and people have started to get a little bit antsy that this might not actually happen. And I still see a lot of folks worried after the new Player's Handbook and stuff comes out that they would try and pull another OGL. And this, I think, is the last nail in the coffin to the whole OGL thing, and is their way of saying, we are done with that. It's not going to happen again. We're putting all of this stuff in Creative Commons. So let's dive in and just take a quick look at what it says. I'll leave everything linked below if you just want to read it yourself. I'm just bringing you the what I consider to be awesome news, but let's dive into it. So the article is 2024 core rulebooks to expand the SRD, and it goes on to say what is the SRD, and it talks about what the point of the SRD is, and it mentions that we're going to get an update to the SRD 5.2, which is going to be a distinct and separate document to the 5.1 SRD, so you'll still be able to use the 5.1 SRD, which of course you would, because that's Creative Commons, you can't undo that, and the 5.2 one is going to come out after the core rulebooks have been released, so that will be early 2025. So this is going to come out sometime after February 2025, because the Monster Manual is due to release February 18th, I think it is, 2025. And they're saying here they're waiting to release 5.2 until all three of the core rulebooks, the updated core rulebooks, have released, because it's going to contain information from all three of those books, and for people who are looking to create content, you're going to need the information from all three of those books to be able to do that. And then it clarifies as to why is it called SRD 5.2 instead of 6.0 or anything else, and it's because it continues to encompass the 5th edition rule set. This is another reinforcement that they're not changing the core 5th edition rule set, that these new rule books are just going to be 5th edition under the hood, and it's kind of the surface stuff that's changing. We might see a lot of changes, but the core resolution mechanics and the core of what makes the game is still going to be 5th edition D&D. And then right at the bottom they say, what about the SRDs for previous editions? And it says, because we still need to complete reviews on those materials before they're released into the CC, we made the decision to wait until after the 2024 rules revisions were released to begin reviews of those documents. So no new information on when we're going to get the Creative Commons for 4th, 3rd, and beyond, if any of those are going to happen, until after this has happened. But I think we still want to keep up pressure, especially to get 4th edition released in Creative Commons, because that only ever came out in the system game license, I think it was called. It was never as open as the OGL, and I think the whole community suffers for that, because 4th edition had a lot of really cool stuff under the hood, even though it's a much maligned system. Wrongly so, I think, because 4th edition is awesome. So, super quick announcement. I think this is awesome news. I know the OGL was gross. It was gross for all of us. Everyone that made content around the Open Gaming license, the whole business with it was super stressful. But to be fair, since then, having the 5.1 SRD in Creative Commons has made the process of creating D&D content easier than it has ever been before. It makes the license declaration much simpler and easier than it has ever been, and I am super pleased that they have recommitted to this and again updated us to say this is still going to happen. Here's a more rough timeline of when it is going to happen, and kind of reconfirmed that they are planning to do this. Wizards, and certainly by extension Hasbro, keep doing corporate shit that we don't like, and that's what corporations are always going to do. But I'm really excited for the future of D&D. Like, much more excited than I thought would be possible to be back at the start of 2023 when the OGL first happened, and I'm really excited to see what happens with these new rules and what we end up getting in the new SRD. Let me know what you think about all this down in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. But until then, happy gaming.